So, Evolution has returned to the WWF. The stable that was a ripoff of the Four Horsemen is now back to rip off the Four Horsemen some more. But Ric Flair doesn't care about that because, well, he's in it, maybe. He might be in it. They're saying they want him to return full time and be with Evolution. Yeah. Like anyone wants to see that. Like anyone wanted to see Evolution come back full time. I mean, this is the problem when you put people in creative who don't know how to be creative. And you've got Triple H at the head of creative who has an ego so large I don't know how he fits it in an arena. I mean, have you ever watched that Futurama episode where they're trying to get the picture of the guy's face who no one could get a picture of, and they had to face his ego, which was outside a giant dog? Yeah, that sounds stranger than the episode actually is. But that's how Triple H's ego is. I think he rents a bus or a semi just to keep his ego in. But Triple H has always been one of those guys who wanted to be the main attraction and yet could not be the main attraction and doesn't understand why he can't be the main attraction. Because Triple H is a dumbass. But I don't want to rant about Triple H again. I want to rant about Evolution coming back because there's no need for Evolution to come back. Why, Batista, it was pretty much stated that he wanted to take the title when he came in after Royal Rumble. He's like, I want to be world champion. That's my goal. So instead, he loses at WrestleMania, and Bryan gets the title. And now he's like, okay, I'm going to team with Triple H and Randy Orton because they gave me beer. I don't know. They were like, here's a 20, come team with us. Instead of chasing the title with Daniel Bryan. And you could have done that feud and made them both look really good. But I guess Batista didn't want to lose to Bryan again because he's Batista and he's a jackass. I've never liked Batista. Batista had a good look, but he was bad on the mic. He, his matches were very hard hitting, but you know this man has an ego. When he says for his time at OVW, Batista said he didn't learn a thing in OVW. Now Jim Cornette says Batista's a fucking liar and needs to be shot. I'm going to tend to go with Jim Cornette on this one. So yeah, I don't like Batista. I don't understand why Batista's goal has went from being world champion to playing with Randy Orton and Triple H. I mean, Randy Orton held that title since last August at SummerSlam. He probably wants a fucking rematch. Why wouldn't he want a rematch? Because Triple H wants him to help beat up the Shield. I mean, you've got Randy Orton who should want a rematch, but apparently would rather beat up the Shield with Triple H. Even though they've had a past history of not getting along, and even in the last year, we've seen them not get along when Randy Orton's a champion, with Triple H calling him a whiner and everything else. So why would he all of a sudden be like, okay, I'll join you, Triple H, and fuck the world title, I'm not going after it anymore. You have Batista, who came back and said, I want to be world champion, and now is like, fuck being world champion, I'm going to go play with Triple H and Randy Orton some more. And then you got Triple H, who's got an ego that, his ego is so large it has its own gravitational field. His ego has moons in it. So yeah, it doesn't fucking make sense. Then again, it didn't make a lot of sense for the Shield to turn face and do whatever. They work good as heels, but now they're faces. I don't fucking know. This is just another example of WWF's crappy writing. But yeah, we don't need Evolution back. We have the Shield, we have the Wyatts, we have numerous tag teams, and in story, Evolution coming back doesn't fit with anything else except for maybe Triple H, but we're getting it anyways, and that's what truly matters. The WWF puts off giving us something we want to see, like Bryan winning the world title forever, just so they could bring something we don't want to see, Evolution coming back, in the main event. And then Daniel Bryan feuds with Kane, which, yeah. So WWE, you have hit the genius meter. Now you need to have Batista kidnapped by ninjas. That should be the next big storyline. Batista gets kidnapped by ninjas.